Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we have some very disturbing news and how the trans activists are really just trying to change culture and the way our society is functioning, along with, the definition of words. So we already knew that you're trying to change the definition of words by using other methods that are not really in the dictionary. But this time they've taken it a bit too far. Now they really want to go this far into this to this level, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by this, by them, going down to this level. Merriam Webster expands the definition of female. I know what a woman is. It's right here in the dictionary. I guess rewriting dictionaries is one way to get around that problem. Merriam Webster now offers a second definition of female having a gender identity that is the opposite of male, and a second definition of male having a gender identity that is the opposite of female. So we'll go here to Matt Walsh's actual thing here, because we'll get to see exactly what he says. He goes on to say, it was bound to happen. Merriam Webster has changed its dictionary definition of female to appease the trans activists. Never mind. So here we have is this. Now I'll go over this for you guys so you kind of get a good example of what's happening. So this will be popping on the screen. Of relating to or being the sex that typically has the capacity to bear young or produce eggs, which is the first definition, which is the main definition. All right. And now you have, which is the B definition, which is having a gender identity that is the opposite of male. Which means if you go to the actual other one, obviously, which obviously allows people to, which obviously it will be the same. So it'll be having a gender identity that is the opposite of female and vice versa. So you get the idea, right? So that's pretty much the case. So, and he goes on, never mind that the trans activists have always insisted that sex and gender identity are two different things. If they can rewrite the dictionary, then they can certainly redefine their own made-up jargon as they please. Yeah, so, this is what's happening, and, I'm not really liking it. I'm not really liking the change in the dictionary, or what they're doing here, which should probably really be fixed. So, yeah, Merriam-Webster is now catering to the far left, which is a huge problem, in my opinion, because it's not a identity, really. It's just, what you're biologically born as. So, there you have it. And now we'll go into what we have a bigger thing here that was back on May 26th of 2022. With Bill Maher saying, we're literally experimenting on children. And the article goes on to say, along with the video, comedian Bill Maher says it's okay to question the transgender movement sweeping across America because we're literally experimenting on children, which I don't disagree. We have, in places like the UK and Sweden, have stopped these horrendous type of treatments. So maybe we should probably follow suit here. During a recent episode of HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher, the comment questioned the rationale behind allowing kids to take puberty blockers or have gender reassignment surgeries, as well as the role culture plays in the conversation. If this spike in trans children is all natural, why is it regional? Maher asked rhetorically during a 9-minute monologue. Either Ohio is shaming them or California is creating them. California is definitely creating them. And not just would be that, California is also trying to cater to where you can take children away from families if they don't, if they want to be something else. So, all of that next, that C-12 bill, I may believe, from Scott Wiener. So, yeah. So we'll see exactly what you guys are along with this video.
And finally, new rule, if something about the human race is changing at a previously unprecedented rate, we have to at least discuss it. Broken down over time, the LGBT population of America seems to be roughly doubling every generation. According to a recent Gallup poll, less than 1% of Americans born before 1946, that's Joe Biden's generation, identify that way. 2.6% of boomers do, 4.2% of Gen X, 10.5% of millennials, and 20.8% of Gen Z. Which means if we follow this trajectory, we will all be gay in 2054. And then who's going to buy this chair? I'm just saying that when things change this much, this fast, people are allowed to ask, what's up with that? All the babies are in the wrong bodies? Was there a mix-up at the plant, like with Captain Crunch's Oops, All Berries? It wasn't that long ago when adults asked a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? They meant what profession?
Yeah, and this is kind of the state that we're at right now, and it's a huge fucking problem, and I don't really like it at all. So we're trying to really put this into the page here, and we need to put a stop to this immediately. What Tim Pool says, which I kind of, which he does say makes a lot of sense, is that liberals don't usually end up having children, and they're either because they're saying that they'll kill them, or they just don't have them at all outright. And which means their ideology will die with them, which thank God I hope it does, because it's extremely toxic towards kids. They're really trying to coddle to the child grabbers a lot. They'll go out and defend them, honestly, and yeah, it's just insane. You see videos constantly out like this to where they're doing this to kids, and I don't like it at all. You just have to look at any Pride event where there's no children and see what it is. You can't say it's not sexual in nature, because it absolutely is. So when we see stuff like this, we have to realize what it actually is and what the bottom line is of this stupidity that's being shoved down our throats and in our daily lives. And I don't like the culture that we're trying to be faced, and I really want to change. I want us to, for once, actually, I would like us to be like the UK or Sweden in this aspect. Don't agree so much on like no guns, but I agree on this thing because they bring up a very valid point. It shows that this has no actual good repercussions at all to children, and it's just like a butchering, which is not their true quote. But the other is to where there is no actual evidence of this doing it only harms children, and that's a huge problem. It even goes on. On today's edition of the Problematic Women podcast, we discuss how, despite all the loud rhetoric from the radical left, many Americans are waking up to the reality that the transgender movement poses a threat to our children. Also on today's show, we discuss the tragedy of the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, and as always, we crown our Problematic Women of the Week. So, don't know too much about this website, but they're absolutely right. It is a problematic thing, and as we've seen here before, private schools and homeschooling has gone up in the past year or two. So hopefully we can get more kids out of these pretty much indoctrination camps and get them in. Now, if you ever seen Yumi Park's interview with Jordan Peterson, you'll see actively that when she went to the New York Columbian College, they were already speaking about this stuff about 1 year ago, which is completely different compared to what Jordan Peterson said and to what he went to. So it's already that bad there, and we need to fix a lot of things. We got to really change the culture, and I think we need to change it quickly, because I don't want to live in a society where children are at immense threat by the far left. And that's not something I really want to have to deal with. So, yeah, we'll see how everything goes. Hopefully, we can change the culture, guys. I was like, it just can't be me that changes it. It needs to be all of you as well. We all have to fight back. We all have to fight for the children and for our own, if not other people's children, at least for your own children, for that matter. So they don't have to be submitted to this evilry at all. So, I mean, that's just the way I think about it. I don't think it's good. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.